I always look at it. So, in my direction I do is here's the missing one.
Yeah.
So never eat soggy wieners.
Huh?
So I just remember how it goes around. Never eat soggy wieners. It stuck with me
Oh,
since
and
I was
never
a
eat
kid.
sour. I like it.
Yeah.
North, south, east,
On
west.
north.
Do you want me to send you a honey here?
You can ask Dad if you know how to do it.
I know how to do it, I just don't know how much.
Okay.
Ask Dad.
Yeah, and then do you know how to get in? If Dad doesn't have the money in an account, you can go into my BMO. It's on there.
That's what I was planning on doing.
She has an eBay account.
I have no clue. My kids have so many accounts, and it's like, yeah, this isn't cool anymore. Now it's this kind of account. So I'm like, can you just go back to
Well,
Facebook, please?
PayPal, you can, if people are buying and selling on eBay, they have a PayPal account. You can send money through a
Yeah, I
PayPal account
used to
for
have-
free.
Yeah, I used to have PayPal, but I don't know what, because it's international, right?
PayPal, yeah, works great.
I haven't used it in like 4 years, so I just didn't, I kind of feel like PayPal's old, so I don't know if there's something new.
Oh, there was.
They'll
upgrading
just
it.
e-transfers, I guess. I wouldn't trust anything else besides either of those. So 6, the sun. Yay, I'm excited. Okay, there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Da-da. So today is, we're doing this guy, the middle, this heart chakra, Sephroth, called Tiphareth. So his name is Tiphareth, which is Hebrew for beauty. Beauty. And it's in the solar plexus, or it's in there, right about there, in our bodies. And it's seen as like the heart chakra. So it's seen as sort of compassionate love. It's, this isn't necessarily, there's the Christian kind of concept. It's the Christian concept of the Christ, or the Greek word, the Christos, which is the idea of just sort of the individual, anybody, any of us, kind of in this, in total kind of individualized awareness. It's can be seen as the seat of sort of the higher self. And I know Blavatsky used to talk about, I think her term was the monad, the reincarnating monad. Sort of, it's this spiritual being that is up there that was deciding when and where to be born as you, or as you, as us.
Say that again?
It's the seat of the holy guardian angel,
So
or the higher
it's
self.
that part of you that gets reincarnated, is that what you're saying?
No, it's that part of you deciding where to take an incarnation.
Oh, I see.
Yes. So the theory is, I have some write-ups on that. I will distribute to whoever is interested. Maybe it'll warm up. I just don't need the window open maybe today.
Yeah.
It's been so chilly.
Yeah.
So this idea that in the Golden Dawn, I have a write-up I can hand out. I've got a few extra copies. That is about why do they do all this stuff? Why do you study all this stuff? And what practice this stuff? And it's in the Golden Dawn, there was this idea to attain, I guess the proper term was attain the knowledge of and conversation with one's holy guardian angel. However, that whole concept of the HGA or the Holy Guardian Angel, it's not the Catholic kind of idea. It's not like some angel that's watching you. It's actually yourself, your spiritual self that exists beyond this physical incarnation. So it's the idea that in order to kind of, you get to meet that guy or be that guy, that he or she, once you get through, you have to get through the astral stuff, through the confusing of the astral stuff, through the kind of the yesod, through the astral, through.
Shall I be your banner?
Yeah.
This astral triangle.
At the astral triangle, you get through the astral triangle, which is really about the personality, to get beyond the ego, to get beyond into the actual spiritual self that is chosen this incarnation. So the theory is that's the being, that's the part of you that knows why you chose this life. It's that part of you that knows what your purpose is, or there's sort of this interesting idea in it that this higher self, this holy guardian angel, this spiritual self that is you, choosing in it to be incarnated, choosing to come through into this physical life that you hypothetically have actually chosen. The interesting thing I find is that it actually has that, yes, it is connected to the higher realms, even beyond it, into sort of the God self, the Godhead, the source. It's connected to source, but it's not dissolved in source. It still has sort of a purpose. It has reasons. It has a personality, if you will. And it's a being, an intelligent being, choosing to develop in certain ways by having this life through you, with you. So it's also seen as the seat of kind of compassion. It's when that individualized realization and then being in touch with your own higher self happens. It's like I better watch where I'm going with this. Because it's, some people call it an awakening or whatever, but, you can awaken every morning. And, but if you don't get out of bed because you got shit to do, you're going to get distracted from your, enlightenment. Life can be pretty distracting. So, anyways, I guess what's important here is it's supposed to be that heart chakra, that point of contact with the higher spiritual realms beyond the astral. It is also the point of contact with the higher self, or HGA, as it was called, the guardian angel, as it was called. But that's not like some extra being that's watching over you. It is yourself that is chosen this incarnation, and it's got all the answers. So what we want to try to do is, and of course, though, how do you find this? How do you experience that? It's through the heart, not through the head, not through figuring it out. It's through the heart is how that is contact is made. So I pulled a few cards. These aren't that descriptive, but that's the only ones I brought today. Wands is Crowley calls it victory.
What number are these?
6s. Six of Cups, labeled pleasure. Of course, the Six of Cups in your standard tarot deck, the Rider-Waite tarot deck, is the two little kids, the 6 cups, and like one kid giving the other one a cup. So it's that idea of compassion. There's an innocence to it. Science, Six of Swords. Of course, the Six of Pentacles or coin, Six of Earth, curly label success.
This has got a cross and a circle just.
It certainly does. So the idea there is of kind of sharing. All the sixes have to do with sort of a sharing of some sort. Man, those are big grapefruits or something. What's the name of this deck, Dallas?
This is the initiatory deck of the Golden Dawn.
Cool.
There's the Six of Chalices.
Nice.
Hi, everybody at home. If there's anybody out
Everybody's
there.
still there from, because we were 10 minutes late.
Anybody out there?
Anybody up there? Well, this one's sort of sweet.
Mm-hmm. This one is reminiscent of your card from your tarot deck, David, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Look at it. What for a long time?
Holy moly, that seems a little severe, doesn't it?
This seems great.
I don't know about that. But anyway, that's
Six of
kind of,
Swords.
Feels like it's
Six of Swords is supposed to be about coming to an agreement, an understanding,
Well,
not chopping off John the Baptist.
well, maybe
noggin.
it's the agreement that she made to provide the head of John to.
Well, there was an agreement there
Yeah,
with Mom.
that's right. And the Six of Wands.
Much more traditional here, the laurel leaf, because the Six of Wands is Six of Fire is definitely about like victories, success and victory. They're all success.
They're all success.
They're all pretty successful.
Swords is science. Why would they call swords science?
Because it's the suit of ideas,
Yeah.
when ideas come together for truth or agreement. It's one of the major swords cards that it's not a problem.
Here, Six of Pentacles, there's no pentacles in it, there's a fruit.
Yeah,
Is that,
I guess that's it, yeah.
Thank you for that symbol last week with me.
In the descriptor here for the deck, it
Yeah.
says success following apprehension
Yes,
and
exactly
doubt.
similar.
Okay.
All right. So an easing of doubt.
Yes.
That's the female.
I don't doubt he's not gonna bother her again. Not after
right.
lopping off his head like that.
I don't know, maybe people like people who get
Cross under the circle.
you walk into that.
So so it's God the Son. So, but that's Son with S-O-N and S-U-N, either way. It has to do with resurrected gods. Of course, Jesus isn't the only one. Osiris is much the same. Dionysus is a resurrected god. Osiris, the resurrected god. There's quite a number of them. There's, there was also the whole theory supposedly in prehistoric times that a king would be actually, when the king's was run his course and the new king was ready, he would be sacrificed. So the sacrifice gods, the consciousness of the higher self and the greater masters. It is called the vision of the harmony of things. It's about healing and redemption. It is the seat of the elemental kings, which I guess is the archangels we call for the ceremony as well. Some symbols for this are the cavalry cross, the rose cross, a truncated pyramid with the top cut off, the cube, the planet sun, color yellow, letter Vav. Yes. In Kether, of course, which is the top, the crown, the source, in Kether is the radix of a golden glory, and thence is there a pure, primitive, and sparkly, gleaming golden yellow, which is reflected into Tiphareth. This is the first reflected triad completed, and the sphere of its operation is that is of Shemesh, the solar light, and bestoweth life, light, and brilliancy. And it ruleth the sphere of action and of the sun. And Yod He Vah He Elo Vada'at is a God of knowledge and wisdom, ruling over the light of the universe. And its archangel is Raphael, the Prince of Brightness, Beauty, and Life. And the name of the order of angels is the Melachim, that is the kings, or angelic kings, who are also called the order of virtues, angels and rulers. The initiation of Tiphareth is the first of the greater initiations into the meaning of the self. Here the individual encounters his own higher self and sacrifices his personality, that which he has hitherto believed to be him or herself. And while this description may appear glib, the initiation of Tiphareth is literally a losing of what one has known to be life, a sacrifice of that life for a greater reality. Real meaning of the passage: for whosoever shall save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. A sacrifice in these terms does not mean the relinquishment of something much desired. Rather, it is what has been described as the translation of force from one form to another. A translation of force directed by will. Once more, nothing on the tree of life is static. God grows, and its most primitive fundamentalist level, existence is viewed as a simple dichotomy between good and evil. The Kabbalah describes universal energy, the one which goes through varying conditions. We ourselves, through a natural process of evolution, become different gods in turn and sacrifice one principle to the other. Tiphareth is the center of the tree of life, and as such is called the mediating intelligence. The powers of all the other Sephiroth flow into it, where they are balanced and sanctified. The vision of Tiphareth is the universal harmony, a vision also linked to its nature as a healing center, where all is brought into harmonious interworking. The light of the soul. The light, well, this is interesting. The term light repeatedly appears, but it may seem that this is a metaphor about the spiritual condition. But reference to light is not metaphorical, it is descriptive. Those with even minimal experience of the inner worlds will attest to the fact that much of the inspired literature of the East and West, interpreted by theologians as merely symbol, is an accurate description of spiritual experience. The search for direct experience of this light is the great work of the personality in incarnation. The devotion to the great work is the virtue assigned to Tiphareth. Ultimately, the great work is the work of return to the Godhead from which the universe emanated. The kings. So, oh, would you? Yeah, I can sort of hear that. If we can. Lemon attention. So far, just kind of in intro, So we start here, physical, 3D stuck in time, physical, Malkuth. We're moving up the tree. Where does that come from? Well, that is an expression of the astral into physical manifestation. The astral plane, which is filled with kind of ideas and things that begin to take form on the astral thought form. Then up to 8, which is where all these different things and ideas were first differentiated. Into Venus on the green is these different things and ideas and elements, the multiplicity of Hod originates in the passion of Venus, in this passion for expression. And so we have this lower triangle that is the physical plus the astral components of what resides just behind physicality. And now we're taking the kind of the leap, the first kind of leap from all three, from this group up to there, which is sort of a kind of a sense of a unified spiritual self, I guess, would be another way of saying it. So, to that end, who wants to do a quarter?
I don't know, of course. Maybe.
Want to try one?
I feel like I keep messing up.
No. Well, let's keep messing it up then. That's fine.
No, that's good. I don't mind doing it, but I don't. My sheet that I had all my pronunciations put on, and like you know
The
how you
fairy
helped me?
ticket?
Yeah, that one's gone. So it was harder for me last time because I looked at it and I'm like, oh no.
That's nothing.
So I like it because you had it all broken
Yeah,
out like that.
exactly.
Yeah, I liked it. I could read it.
Oh, I'm doing west.
How's that? All right.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
And then we'll do a sun in the east because it's also to do with Raphael, and that just seems to work. I got a sun, which didn't print properly, so do some more later. Handout. So we're gonna do. I'll do the usual circle. I'll do the usual middle pillar. Then in that transition between the middle pillar and everybody's personal meditation, I'm just going to put out a few of the symbols that you want to think about, which is going to be the 6s in the tarot, the sun, the solar, the heart chakra, yes, reborn deities, and the higher self, and then we'll go from there. And everybody just shake hands with their higher self.
Sure.
All right, sounds good. And the scent is, and I actually have some in the liquid form. It's frankincense.
With deep, healing fragrances.
Call upon the goddess and the god. We open this circle and temple to Tiphareth. You smell it.
So it's different than the incense.
It's a little more spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more therapeutic.
Mhm.
It's like the Vicks again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it smells from the candle a little better. I guess, do we need that? Do we need that to read? I will turn it off later.
Yeah, unless we want to turn that one on over there.
We just have a look. Are you able to read your thing?
Yes.
Ate Malkut Ora Vegadula Leola Amen. Hecus Est Bebeloi. Yahashua. 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 Yod. Hey. Shin. Do. Hey. Iron Irai, Yod Nun Resh Yod, sign of Osiris slain. El, the sign of the morning of Isis. V, the sign of Typhon Apophis. X, the sign of Osiris risen. L, V, X, light of the cross. Virgo, Isis, mighty mother. Scorpio, Apophis, destroyer. Soul, Osiris, slain and risen. Isis, Apophis, Osiris. Peo Koima Nantabi Peoem. May the divine light descend. That's divine light descend. So be it. That's our circle. And right off that one. Air in the east. EXRP. Oro Yibai Ozolpi. Jehovah. Yes. Hail Raphael, Archangel of the East and there. Fires up.
Want me to try to do fire?
Yeah, sure.
You have to help me. This one?
Yeah,
I like
So-
nuts.
this is EHA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we work together, do this together.
Yeah.
Okay, so they start down here.
Start
up,
here.
down, up. And then so as you're doing this through this whole,
That's Bai Teoem.
And do you say that through the
B
whole?
B-tone. Well, that's the star is B-tone.
Do you start it through it and then the second?
B-T-O-N is another way of doing it, so it's not complicated.
Okay.
So it's B-tone.
Okay, B-tone?
Yeah, and then
And you use just, you hum it through the whole thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. B-tone. A. And open. Now, second one. Top to lower.
Where are you starting on this one? On the top? And we're saying this word?
Oye, teia, pedoke. And then a Leo symbol.
Oh, that was interesting. What side do you start at? That one? Okay.
Elohim.
Elohim.
That's it. That's very good. Hail Michael. Michael's a triangle on the forehead. Michael.
So we will hail Michael.
Yeah.
Archangel.
Angel of the South.
Thank you.
Because they interfere with my conduit. Okay. Hokoma Agala Imper Salgeo Al Hail Gabriel, Archangel of the West.
Nanta Agla. Imordial Hectega. Adonai. Hail Uriel, Archangel of the North and Earth. So before me, Raphael, behind me, Gabriel, to the right hand, Michael, and to the left hand, Uriel. And about us flames the pentagram, and in the column shines the sixth straight star, Te Malkuth Vegabora Vegadula Leola Am. Amen. So be it. This evening we are connecting and transversing the sixth path, the sixth sphere of Sephroth, sixth Sephroth of Tiphareth, beauty. To that end, I am invoking the solar energies associated with Tiphareth. Okay. Alita. Yehovah Elovadas. Raphael. Arita. Melachim, the kings, Resh, the sun, Semesh, the sun. Yeah. So we want to relax, and just right there, I'm going to right top of the head. as it is. The sixth path is called the mediating intelligence because in it are multiplied the influxes of the emanations, for it causes that influence to flow into all the reservoirs of blessings with which they themselves are united. Devotion to the great work. Vision of the harmony of things. Light atop the head, orb of light. Remember to think of your breathing. Try to establish that 4 square breath. Bring the light energy down to form a lavender orb of light in the throat area. Yehovah Elohim. Yehovah Elohim. Bring the light energy down to form a yellow golden orb of light in the chest behind the solar plexus. The heart chakra. Yehovah Elohim. Yehovah Elohim. Bring the light energy to form down further, to form a purple orb of light in the groin area. Light of life. Shaddai El Chai. Bring the light energy down to the feet where it forms a russet orb of light, light of form. Adonai Haaretz.
Adonai Haaretz.
Adonai Haaretz. On the exhale, bring the light energy down through the left side of the body to the feet. On the inhale, bring the light energy up through the right side of the body to the top of the head. On the exhale, imagine the light energy coming down through and over the front of the body to the feet. And on the inhale, bring up the light energy from the feet along the back of the body to the top of the head. Exhale light energy down the front. Inhale light energy up along the back. On an inhale, collect light energy at the feet. And on the exhale, release the light energy up through the middle pillar, up through the body, through the top of the head. And for a moment, if you will, of your tree in your imagination and the sheltering safe space in the roots of the tree. If you can have that for a moment, think of being there and meditating upon the heart. And see where it leads you. The sixes of the tarot, resurrected gods and goddesses, the heart chakra, the God reborn, the higher self. It's going to guide. Okay. Thank the guardians of the quarters, the elemental beings, intelligences, and energies called in attendance to the ceremony. Sun, Uriel, Gabriel, energies of water, Rukia, energies of fire, Raphael, air, east, and the sun. We thank you. Go if you must, stay if you will. This temple being closed.
We don't need to turn on the other light, do we?
That would just be
That would be bright and
ridiculously
obnoxious.
bright.
Yeah. Ah. Hmm. Hmm. Mm.
I don't know if I got much to relate, but a little bit is it just occurred to me. I mean, all these years have been doing this and like this sphere and this level and stuff. And if you're familiar with the Golden Dawn material, is like if you're initiated into Tiphareth, the heart chakra, that is called the Adeptus Minor degree. Your Adeptus Minor, which means you can connect to your higher self, and you can come from the heart, and that you have that perspective. So, I've had experiences in my life with, I actually met like a light being when I was like 13 or something, like some kind of an alien guy. He looked like he was like from the movie Cocoon, the guy was after they took off their fake skin, this glowing plasma guy. But this is like 15 years before that movie came out. And a dream state that wasn't quite a dream state. It was like, but anyway, and I've, all these theories about the higher self and stuff, but it occurred to me it's like a next level for me to kind of see myself as a light being. That all this talk about this is all part of us. The spirit is part of us. We are expressions of spirit in the physical. We are blah blah blah. That obviously, all that. To get even this far, you're a spiritual being in an incarnation. So, but I've never, I think before today, actually thought of seeing myself as a spiritual being.
Wow.
Why be
Revelation.
Why be modest?
It's glowing.
We're spiritual beings. Yes.
Yeah. Interesting.
And I saw a baby dragon. A baby dragon.
Yeah.
And the mama dragon's been around me for so long, so.
She's sharing a baby.
Baby trail.
I didn't have a whole lot, I went up into the tree, but the tree was more like, it wasn't on the ground. It was like the hanging, like the Yggdrasil, the Norse tree of life.
Oh, yeah.
And I went up and instead of into the root, in the center, sort of a heart-shaped kind of a doorway, gnarled. And I went through that and it just was very peaceful in there and bright. And there were like 6 suns hanging, but they weren't full suns. They were like eclipsed. So it was like just the bottom rings of the sun that were hanging in this kind of U shape in the sky. It was interesting. Yeah. Peaceful and very calm in there. I didn't need anybody in there. I didn't feel like I needed to go and look anywhere. I just felt like,
Bask.
yeah, I'll just bask in this. This is nice. This just feels good. That could be too because I'm tired.
Yeah.
Sleep deprived. So that was enough for me just to cozy.
And not doze off.
Yeah, not fall off my chair. Yeah, that's a good thing about sitting on the hard chair there, man. Yes, sir.
You can hang on if you
Yeah. When I go so deep, sometimes I'm afraid I'm gonna flop right off, but not this time. Thank you, David.
I couldn't go into the tree at first. I walked up to it and it was closed to me. I'm like, okay, what do I need to get off me? I wasn't allowed in. But I've been away at my mom's for the last week. I'm working lots and just go. So I had to stop, clear myself off first, and then it opened for me. I obviously had too much stuff still around me for it to just like, no, you're not allowed in here yet.
Yeah. Go prepare thyself.
But then when I went in, I don't remember really what happened, but I just started getting visions, boom, 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 of lots of things, like a lot of things. Like I was beside my husband in the hospital in a gown, and I don't know why he was there, but I was talking with him and he was making jokes like normal. And so then I stayed there with him for a while, and then I left, and I saw other things, like it just visions of a whole bunch of other little things. So it was like I was being shown things.
As to whether time will tell, but of course it could be symbolic too.
Yeah.
Because this is it is a sphere of healing.
Healing, yeah. Well, and he's been dealing with the cough a lot, right, lately, and he's having a hard time getting over it. So it could just be,
Corona. I mean, the Souk cough lasts 6 weeks, so I don't
it's just
know.
a cold infectious, right? There's lots of students that come in coughing, but he's not. He's just fighting a cold, and it's a man cold, so.
English have an expression. It wasn't the cough that carried him off, it was the coffin that carried him off in.
Yeah.
It could just be him getting worried and wanting to go in and get checked, right? So,
Sure.
And then, of course, I saw my horse and I saw my mom's place, and then I'm like, okay, slow down, brain. Yeah.
I feel warm. I feel like I'm sitting right beside the sun.
Well, I went in the tree and almost exactly like the Venus did. I was in this room, sort of almost a cave, but with the tree around it.
Yeah.
And it was a circular pool. Instead of Venus statue in there was a cross floating above the water. And it had vines wrapping around it.
Interesting.
But as I walked around, it always faced me. But sort of in and out of that, I kept getting these really negative memories of relationships with people, in my life. It was popping in, remembering that nar and, every nar was, and then I'm off to, here's another person who done me wrong. But, there's a lot of unresolved anger and all that. The thing was, I couldn't access that. I could see it there, but I couldn't get there. It was almost like a force field around the edge of the pool. Wanting to connect with that energy, seeing it, and it's like, that's where I should be, not here being mad at all these people. I couldn't get there.
Like a process somehow involved here, like the compassion, the letting go.
Well, the part is letting go, I think, and I think it's with all of that stuff in me, always looking at that negative aspect. That's what's preventing me from getting there to that space.
I get a message that in time you'll heal. They're showing
It's
me
like
what to look at.
What you want to get over.
In time, baby steps.
Well, it's last summer when I was at Alanis Festival, with my old covenant mate and on the sacred land that she owns that I helped create. Now that was the last time, the first time in many years I felt connected to my high self. And have maintained a level of that, ever since. But I'm really worried about this virus. Now this is weighing heavily on me. That this could be, it's already affecting the economy, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. And it could trigger a worldwide economic collapse. Because it's, we've been talking for decades. Oh, something will happen that will trigger this whole deck of house of cards that's going to come tumbling down. It could be economic, it could be environmental, it could be financial, political, and medical. And there's a part of me that goes, this is the beginning of the end. Not the end of the end of
the world as we know it.
The world as we know it, yeah. Exactly.
I got these old astrology books, like my main astrology book, I think came out in 1972 or whatever, Astrologer's Handbook, and you look up Pluto in Capricorn, which is where it is now. We just had Pluto in Capricorn emphasized by Saturn and Jupiter and all this stuff going on now, and since December, and it always says Pluto in Capricorn, the end of the governments and economic systems transformed and destroyed.
You must be reading that going, oh my God.
I'm looking forward to it.
Interestingly enough, December is when the virus began in China. Yeah. But I just want to interject here with a little lightness.
Please.
That actually it's too soon to get really excited about it, but China has for the first thing, there's slowed down, and there have been no new cases in the province where it started. South Korea also, they just announced that they have gone with no increase in the last couple of days. So
the economic slowdown will definitely hit cruise ships and airlines. There will be other kind of peripheral kind of economies associated with that. But these are kind of like, relatively small sectors in the larger economy.
Oh, yeah.
That's my call.
Well, and it's also, here in northern Seattle, they're closing down school districts.
They've had most of the fatal cases in the U.S. were in Seattle area.
in seniors home.
I look at it as I don't need to worry because I can't change it. If it's my time, it's my time.
I'm just worried about
being a person that's
caught and getting it
times
myself
already.
as how it will affect
Yeah.
the world. Because what I'm excited about,
It is
and
what
this
it
is
is.
part how it
Yeah.
connects, is in May, I'm scheduled to go back to
Yes.
Mountain for the
Yes.
summer.
Yes.
The whole summer there.
Mhm.
And I'm worried that this will prevent me from doing that. And it's like, oh.
Well, this is where you're gonna get all of our higher selves together on the same plane, vibrating at the same time, to raise the energy outside of this physical illness. There's going to be changes, but without us coming together and being on the same plane and helping one another, that's when things will fail.
Yeah.
If I see it as an opening up so that people will cooperate and work and see where the huge problems are in, open the eyes of the people that are asleep to what is actually going on in their countries, where they see the governments lying, where they see governments contradicting one another, and really come to a place of common sense where, when we're told the basics that we learned before we were in kindergarten, hopefully, is that wash your hands. What did Mama tell you? So this is just Mama telling us one more time, wash your hands. Don't, be cautious around people that are sick. Don't cough on one another. Don't do the multitude of other disgusting things that I've seen human beings do in the last couple of days to expectorate
Yeah.
in public.
Mhm.
Don't do those things. Be respectful of one another. And I think that's that's the sense that I get from
It's
it.
the manifestation of the patriarchy. And, a rising up of the matriarchy again to wash your hands.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like, all of a sudden it's a big issue in the States. Well, and then even these big companies like, whatever is it, Uber or whatever is saying, oh, I guess we're gonna have to provide people with some sick pay. What a concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, can't tell people to stay home from work when they're sick if we don't give them some,
That's
help
right,
them out.
because the
Will.
Federal
economy
Trade
will
Commission.
collapse.
They will go back to work because they need the money.
Yeah.
And then they'll just infect everybody.
Well, the Federal Trade Commission in Washington DC, there was a case on one floor of their thing, so everybody on that floor, the ninth floor, is telecommuting from now on,
Mhm.
until the crisis goes over.
A lot of people in British Columbia, the government, are doing remoting into work, those who can. Yeah, that's happening in a lot of corporations. And that,
Yeah.
once again, is common sense. And it's something that
And it's gonna be
people have been
trying to make happen.
trying to make happen. And now it's being forced.
Yeah.
It's like, we need to do this
Institutional
now.
inertia.
So. Anyways, guys,
All right, thank you.
it's all right.
I think we're gonna call it quits.
Did
It's
you
all
wanna,
good.
Richard, talk about what you saw?
No, I'm good. I was
You're just mellow like me, eh?
yeah.
Just like enjoying
too
the
much.
space.
I'm just trying to go deeper.
Okay, thank you, whoever was there. We started late, but thank you, and we will post this for future reference. Thank you.
See you next week.